Candidates from around the region to talk to us about their party's manifesto. We are joined with Steph Harvey from who's the Labour candidate in Havant. Welcome, Steph.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on.
You're more than welcome. So please do share with our viewers and listeners what you feel are the high points of the Labour Party manifesto.
I'm really excited actually about our manifesto. We believe as a party that everyone deserves a government that will match your ambition, and that our manifesto will ensure that no matter what your background, you can thrive. I'm a teacher, so the big thing for me is education. I believe that education is the greatest leveller, and that it gives opportunity to people. And actually, in the constituency I'm standing in, which is Havant, we're looking at 55% of people living in deprived circumstances. And so I really am proud of our manifesto that will push and raise aspirations for people in Havant. So we as a party have committed in our manifesto to 6,500 new teachers in specialist areas, because we really think it's important actually that students deserve to be taught by teachers who are specialists in that subject. We have committed to 3,000 new primary school-based nurseries. And again, that's really, really important actually. I was door knocking on Friday and heard actually that there's a local nursery at HSDC that's closing. And so there's a shortage of nursery spaces for working parents. So again, I'm really proud that we're championing this because we want to help people go to work. We want to make life easier for parents. And I'm hopeful that I can drive some of those spaces and creation of new nurseries into Havant. It's also really important that we're going to have free breakfast club spaces for all primary school children. We're seeing far too many children going to school hungry. And, you know, it's not acceptable in 2024. We also want high quality apprenticeships and specialist technology colleges. And again, this is really important. You know, I've talked about raising aspirations. Aspirations don't have to look like A-levels in university. That's great for many students, but actually, you know, there's some real shortage of skills that we have in the UK. And we're really proud as a party to be pioneering this. So this, of course, begs the question, how are we going to pay for this? You may well have heard that we will be closing the tax loophole on private schools, which will help fund all of our plans on education. Something else that I'm very proud of in our manifesto is the amount of, you know, opportunities that we're going to grant people. And one of the key ones that we're going to do is we're going to enact a socio-economic duty in the Equalities Act. And that's really, really significant because we need to make sure that people from all backgrounds can achieve and can be prosperous in life. And so that's going to help make sure that no matter your social class, no matter what your background is, you can have an aspirational future. We also need to make work pay. And something that we're really proud of, again, as a party, is that we will make sure that we have right pay, we'll have protections for maternity leave, have menopause discrimination covered, and we'll take action to reduce the gender pay gap. This is really, really significant. Obviously, as a woman, it's a cause close to my heart. We shouldn't be working for less than men in this day and age. So again, I'm really pleased that we're going to make work paid for everyone. Something as a special needs parent that's also very close to my heart is further strengthening the rights of people with disabilities. And it's really important actually, and this is something I'm very proud of in our manifesto, is that we will make sure that disabled people have full rights to equal pay, and we'll introduce disability and ethnicity pay gap reports as well. We'll also strengthen this by supporting disabled people into work if that's appropriate for them, by offering employment support and making sure that they have access to reasonable adjustments in the workplace, which is really, really important. Standing in Havant, one of the real key issues for voters is water quality. And again, this is one of my personal pledges to people in Havant, is that we need to sort out water quality, and we need to stop sewage discharges. So as part of our manifesto, Labour has committed to giving toothless regulators the powers to block payments to water bosses who consistently oversee filth in our waters. We'll also oversee repeated law breaking. Bosses who oversee repeated law breaking will face criminal charges. And this is again really significant because at the moment, quite often it's cheaper just to dump sewage in the water than it is to pay to dispose of it properly. So we need to make sure that we're closing this loophole. Something else that's very important is that we'll end self-monitoring for water companies. And significantly, we will make sure that water companies have independent monitoring of every single sewage outlet. This is significant because it means companies can no longer cover up illegal sewage dumping. Hayling Island and Emsworth are, areas of outstanding natural beauty, and I'm really proud that the Labour Manifesto will close these loopholes and help to protect these areas. And will also give severe and automatic fines as well to the big bosses, which again, I'm very proud to stand on that platform. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is energy. I think there's not many of us at this moment in time who haven't been impacted by the cost of living crisis and, spiraling energy bills. And actually it's pushing many people into energy poverty. And so again, really, really proud, one of our flagship policies that we're running in the Labour Party is Great British Energy. So it will be a nationalised energy company. It will make Britain a clean superpower. And we know that this will cut bills, so people will have more money in their pocket. It will create 650,000 jobs, and it will deliver energy security with cheaper zero carbon electricity by 2030. Now, this will be paid for by a windfall tax on gas and oil giants, because we believe that working people should have more money in their pockets, and it shouldn't be, shareholders profiting at the expense of the everyday person. And again, something that I'm really proud of in this part of our manifesto is the commitment to create 650,000 new jobs. So we have a real opportunity here to be innovators, like with the COVID vaccine, for example, because if we don't innovate and invest in clean zero carbon electricity, we'll end up buying these solutions. So let's create British jobs and let's add to our economy. That's a really significant part of our manifesto. And the last point on this as well is that we have our warm home schemes, and this will help people to insulate their homes. Now, the way in which this is going to be paid for or funded is that there will be government-backed grants which will be available, as well as low interest loans. And again, this is a short-term solution to spiraling energy costs. We hope the uptake on this will be great. We also know it has a positive impact on the environment. And those are some of my favourite parts of our manifesto there. Yeah, thank you. So I think for me, the big thing in Havant is Havant has never had a Labour MP, and they've also never had a woman. So it feels quite significant to be standing on this platform. The big thing for me is because it is such a safe seat in Havant, many people, we have really low voter turnout. And so one of my key pledges that I'm offering people is that I will have an open door office. I want to make sure that people feel, able to vote. I want them to make sure that they feel able to contact me. And I'll also hold weekly surgeries across the constituency, because I think it's really important that people have a good local constituency MP who they can contact in good times and bad. Some of the other things I'm hearing on the doorstep are about community safety. And we're really, really invested as a party on cracking down on antisocial behaviour. I have started to meet with local police officers and PCSOs, and they're really enthused about Labour's plans. But particularly in Bedhampton and Lee Park, when I'm out and about knocking on doors, they're saying, there's just not enough of a police presence. And so again, I'm really, really proud to be standing on a manifesto that means that, Lee Park, Bedhampton, all of the areas in Havant, there'll be a increased police presence. Again, the other thing, like I talked about, was water. So water is a real issue in terms of water infrastructure. It can't cope with how many houses are being built in Havant. And so there's a real conversation to be had there. I personally would like to see Southern Water added as statutory consultees, so that they can push back against overdevelopment in the area. I think that's really, really key for people. The other one is Havant Thicket Reservoir. Not sure if you're aware of that one or not, but originally there was a plan made which people were very, very supportive of, which would help Havant protect, against climate change and global warming. And it would be building a reservoir where people could also use for leisure activities. And the plan for that has now changed. And Sun and Water are now involved, and it means that they'll be using reverse osmosis to recycle effluent wastewater. And there's a lot of concerns about this as well. So I've been meeting with water companies and local people, but I'm keen to act on that as a real priority and make sure that I listen to residents on that one. Last but not least, I think what's really important in Havant is that all residents have access to safe, stable and affordable homes. Housing is a real problem, actually, in terms of we've got young people living at home still because they can't afford to buy their own homes, and it's really important, actually, that if we develop in Havant, we build houses which are affordable and help people get on the property ladder. Equally, it's very important, that actually a lot of the housing, particularly social housing in Havant, is mouldy, it's damp. I've heard from one resident who has got mold all over her walls, and that's exacerbating her daughter's asthma. And so I'm really keen to work to see how we can increase housing for everyone. And, I said at the beginning, 55% of people in Havant are living in deprived circumstances. And so actually there's work to be done here, because we know that the most important base you can give children to raise aspirations to them is a safe and stable home. And actually, if they don't have that, education isn't going to work for them. And so I'm really keen to help out with housing. I will work with the local council, and I'll also make sure that if we develop in the area, local infrastructure can support these houses, but also as well, like I say, it's affordable for people.
The full list of candidates for Havant: for the Conservative Party, Alan Mack; for Labour, Stefanie Harvey; for the Liberal Democrats, Gayatri Satyaneth; for the Green Party, Nettie Shepherd; for Reform UK, John Perry; and for the Workers' Party of Great Britain, Jennifer Alamano.